My name is Santiago, and this is a story of how I went from being completely broke as a high school student to owning several businesses and generating over $400,000 with my first successful dropshipping store at only 22 years of age. And right now, after being able to generate over $3 million worth of dropshipping products, I'm even helping over 400 students to generate the same results in just 60 days. However, for this video, I won't be staying here in this setup because I want to take you with me on a quick journey to show you where and how all began. So let's go. So yeah, anyways, everything started back in 2018. I was finishing high school, and just like any other teenager, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I was trying to look for ways to make money online, because I only knew one thing, and that one thing was I wanted to have big things. I mean, I had big ambitions since I was a kid, and I always knew that a 9-to-5 and a normal job wasn't gonna really take me to that point. Don't get me wrong, I mean, I have nothing to do with the corporate life or people that really wanna get into the 9-to-5, but simply for me, it wasn't the path that I wanted to take. So back then, I was finishing high school, I was going through my final exams, and at the same time, this is actually funny, I got into a little affair with a girl back in 2018, and I fell in love with this girl. It's funny because the girl behind the camera right now, it's my actual girlfriend. And yeah, I mean, I fell in love with this girl, and she actually lived in Dubai and I lived in Colombia. She came to Colombia just for summer, and that relationship was really important because it really motivated me a lot to make more money, because of course I needed to be able to see her going to Dubai. But yeah, I'm gonna circle back to that in just a minute. 2018 was the year I started. Back then I lived with my family. I came back from school every day trying to look for ways to make money online. And yeah, as I told you before, one day I found about dropshipping, and that was actually the only video that I saw, that I remember that actually made sense. Like, it seemed to be something that could actually work. Everything made sense to me. At the end of the day, it's a real business. It's doing e-commerce, selling products online, selling real products to real customers. So I knew that this might have been the real business that might have taken me from point A to point B. And that's how everything started. So right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you guys with me on the whole journey of going back to my family's house, and I'm gonna show you everything where I seated literally to work, the desk that I used. Many of you are gonna feel identified with me, and I really hope that this is gonna be motivation for you guys, because my life has changed a lot since I started back in 2018. Right now, of course, it's 2024. It's been 6 years, but it's definitely worth it. You're gonna love this. Let's go. This is my BMW M240i. Got it this year, guys. Well, at the end of the day, this is just material things, but that's actually what money allows you to do, to get the things that you want, to do the things that you want. So anyways, let's go. Alrighty guys, so right now I'm gonna be taking you to my grandparents' house. That's where I grew. And I remember that when I started researching about dropshipping, but I found one guy that really explained like really good what dropshipping was, and I remember I bought his course. It was just $50 for me. $50 back then was a lot of money because, well, I didn't make anything. I mean, I only had the money that maybe my parents gave me for school or something like that. And I remember that I had to save the money to buy that course, but I did it because I knew that I needed to get the knowledge first so I could actually start making money with dropshipping. And every day that I came back from school, all I did was literally sitting in my room or sitting in any sofa with my laptop, just trying to understand what dropshipping was, because honestly at the beginning, dropshipping might be a little bit overwhelming for many people. It's not very easy to understand. That's pretty much how 2018 finished. In December, beginning of 2019, I decided to build my first dropshipping store, and damn, it was horrible, guys. It was a really bad dropshipping store. I sold like iPhone cases. I mean, I tried to make the branding look good and everything, but selling iPhone cases for many people, I know it's one of the most common issues that people make when they start to do dropshipping, and actually that's one of the biggest mistakes. Of course, didn't make any sales with Dropshipping Store, not because the store was bad or something, but actually I didn't get to launch ads on that Dropshipping Store. And the reason to why I didn't get to launch ads, it's because I didn't know that I had to pay for the ads. That's how beginner I was back then. But then 2019, I realized that I needed more knowledge. I realized that I needed to learn way more about dropshipping if I really wanted to make money. With the first experience that I had, now I knew that I needed some money to invest It wasn't just about knowledge. So 2019 started with me buying another course. This course was more in-depth into Facebook ads. And back then in 2018, 2019 for dropshipping, Facebook ads was the only way to do marketing. So I had to once again get a new course, and that's precisely one of the best memories that I have about my entrepreneurship journey, because instead of going to uni, because 2019 I was already going to uni, instead of going to uni, all I did was getting out of my house. My family thought I was going to uni, but instead of going to uni, I was actually going to a cafe nearby my house, and I literally sat all day in that cafe, bought just a bottle of water, and sat freaking 8 hours every day just digging that freaking course, trying to understand everything about how dropshipping worked. And it's funny and it's nice at the same time, because I actually have a whole notebook that I'm gonna show you in just a minute in my grandparents' house with everything that I wrote about that course that I was watching at the moment. Guys, and before we continue, before we get to my grandparents' house, I want to show you the sales of a few stores that I have that I launched like a month ago. Right now I'm recording this just at the beginning of Q4 in 2024. Today we made already 5 sales with this one, and so far the past 30 days we have made over $10,000 in sales, 124 orders. And this is not the only store. I also have another one right here. This one has been actually a little bit better than the previous one. This one has made almost $12,000, 136 order, 4.5 in conversion rate, which is really good. We are very profitable with these 2 stores. So yeah, right now, of course, after 6 years of doing dropshipping, I already have different systems built and a big team that helps me out to not only launch multiple stores at the same time, but to actually manage those stores at the same time, because managing just one store, it's difficult. And if you hit it big with just one store, you can then invest a lot of money into actually having your own team, building systems that it's definitely gonna help you out to increase your revenue, and I mean, at the end of the day, the money you make with dropshipping and e-commerce. Guys, we just arrived to my grandparents' house, and this is where everything began back in 2018, 2019, and even 2020. Let's go to my ex room. So this was my room, pretty tiny, but it was enough for me. These were the 2 notebooks that I used to take notes about everything about dropshipping, especially this one. If we open this, we can actually see that it is completely full about dropshipping stuff. Like, look, for example, here, I was taking notes about that Facebook ads course. I mean, everything I was doing back then, you know, and it's so motivating to see this again in 2024 after all the things that I have acquired, because it's literally full. This was my old desk, pretty basic, nothing fancy or crazy as how I have right now in my current house. And in just a minute, I'm gonna show you the cafe that I used to go to, and I'm gonna show you literally the same chair that I used to sit. I'm gonna show you what I used to buy, just to show you a little bit more of what I did back then in 2018, 2019 especially. Guys, and this is also very funny to me. This is my first laptop. I mean, I remember that I used to take this everywhere, and one of the spots that I used to work was this one. I also sat right here in this chair, literally just like this, and I don't know, 6 hours, 7 hours spending time here watching courses, building my first dropshipping stores with this laptop. So it's no excuses, guys. No excuses. If you don't have a Mac, or if you don't have a nice laptop or a nice computer, you can definitely do it with just a normal laptop. All right, you guys, so right now we're walking towards the cafe that I used to go. We're literally doing the same walk I had to do every time when I was not going to uni. Apparently I was going to uni, but I was actually taking notes of many dropshipping courses, buying just a cafe and a bottle of water every day, and pretty much being here like 8 hours every day. And coming back here after like 4 years, it's crazy, because at the end of the day, all that sacrifice and hard work and literally the same routine over and over again literally paid off. All right,
Me va de choco vainilla, me das un americano pequeño y una torta de banano. Por favor, como voy a llevar todo ya.
that's my table. That's my table. This is the fucking table. Fuck, I'm so happy right now. There were some people here and they literally just stood up. Literally 1 year, one whole year sitting here from like 8 in the morning till probably 3-4 p.m. just taking notes here with my laptop, just a coffee Yeah, it's crazy. Coming to the end of 2019, that was the first year or one of the first years that I went to Dubai to see my ex-girlfriend. And I was working on the side with this girl. I was her assistant. She basically needed someone to run campaigns on Facebook and Google. And since I was learning how to do that with my dropshipping courses and my dropshipping experience, I was making some money on the side. It wasn't a lot, honestly. The end of 2019, it's very interesting because it's the beginning of the big change that came in 2020. I had my second dropshipping store, but I'm gonna talk to you guys about that second dropshipping store in my way back home, okay? And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I did on 2019. And by the end of 2019, I was ready to launch my second dropshipping store. And this time I already had the knowledge for the marketing part, which is extremely important for any e-commerce. Now, there was only one thing missing, and that was the money that I was gonna use for Facebook ads. I don't know if you guys know this, but the minimum amount that it's suggested to invest on Facebook ads, it's at least $1,000. And I didn't have that money, of course. So one day I saw a friend. I was hanging out with a friend, really good friend of mine, probably one of my best friends, and I told him about dropshipping. Back then, I never told anyone about the things that I was doing on the back. I didn't tell anyone about dropshipping, not even my own family. But I don't know, I felt like with this guy, he was gonna understand me about the things I was doing. And I told him, and he actually was pretty surprised in a good way of the things I was doing. And I remember that the same day we went to his house and I started talking with her mom about dropshipping. And she was like, Santiago, and let me be your investor. So let me help you out. Let's go 50-50, let's go 50% on the business. You put the knowledge, I put the money. And that's how I launched my second dropshipping store and the first dropshipping store that actually got sales. That was just at the end of 2019. So we were pretty much in Q4. Same time of the year that we're currently at right now. I remember that I found a winning product from the pet niche. It was, I don't know if you guys remember, one of these fluffy beds for dogs. It was trending massively back then at the time, and different to these days. It wasn't saturated at all. Like, it was a new product. It was a hot product back then in 2019, but it also helped with the season of the year at which most countries were going through at that time, which was winter. So it was like a win-win from every angle you saw it. It was a one-product store first time in my life. I knew that with a one-product store and with a good winning product, I could have made it big. So I built a store. It was actually called Fluffy Friend. That was the name. I remember, I think right at the beginning of December, we launched the ads. And for the first time in my life, I got the first sale doing dropshipping. And it was crazy. I remember how happy I was that day. I remember the excitement about getting the first sale, because not only you're making a sale, not only someone believed in your store and bought the product, but for me it was like damn, so much time put it into learning how to do this. It was like testing the business and proving that it was actually real, proving that you could actually make money with this. That same year I went to Dubai, I went to Spain because I was seeing my girlfriend at the time. And coming back from Spain and Dubai, coming back to Colombia, we had to close the store pretty much because the mom of my friend, she needed the money for another business she was gonna put the money into. I was a little bit sad, of course. I didn't want it to close the store, but at the end of the day, I gained so much knowledge and most importantly, so much experience from managing the Facebook ads. I gained so much freaking experience that I was already confident in my own skills. I knew that if I had the money for a third dropshipping store, this one was gonna be way better, way bigger. And with this one, it could have been like my first super successful store. And that's actually the case. That's actually how it went into 2020. But I'm gonna talk to you about that one in just a minute as soon as I get back home. Yeah, as I was telling you, 2020 was the year that changed pretty much everything for me. I didn't have a dropshipping store anymore because we had to close it. So I was like, okay, I have a lot of experience. I have a lot of knowledge now. Now, how do I make the money for the ads? Because once again, if I wanted to launch a new store, I needed to have those $1,000. For this time, the mom of my friend, she actually talked to my grandfather. She basically said like, listen, you need to pay attention to Santiago because he's doing something great with dropshipping. He never listened to me, honestly, but this time he listened to her. One day he came at me. I know I remember I was working in my laptop and he told me like, okay,
you want to do drop shipping? How much money you need? And I was like, I just need $1,000. That's all I need. He gave me the $1,000. And I remember back in April 11th from 2020, I launched my third dropshipping store. And for the first time, my first most successful and profitable dropshipping store. It was crazy. Of course, 2020 was the year of the pandemic. And right into March, April, we were just getting into like the whole lockdown, and it was really hard for many physical businesses to close down. So running ads on Facebook got to be very cheap. E-commerce blew up, dropshipping blew up. Right from the first month, I was already profitable. Like literally at the beginning of May, June, I was already making probably 30 to 50K in revenue per month. I had it pretty much active all 2020, all 2021, all the way till 2022. But at the end of 2020, a lot of things started to change for me. Lockdown wasn't as hard as how it was before, so I managed to travel back to Dubai to see my ex-girlfriend. I already had a decent amount of money thanks to dropshipping, so I started to do a bunch of things. I started to buy things that I liked. I started to save some money, and I also went into the States. I traveled to Miami, and I opened a company in the US. I opened bank accounts in the US, pretty much because having the company in the US for me was better than having it in Colombia. That's pretty much how 2020 went. It was a year of massive growth, pretty much exponential growth, I would say. And then 2021 was a very interesting year, and pay a lot of attention here because 2021 was a year on which I got into a comfort zone. I broke up with my ex-girlfriend, and then my dropshipping store was pretty much generating money on autopilot. I was making like 10K in profit every month, and I got into a comfort zone. I started to spend a lot of money. Of course, I was trying to go through the whole process of breaking up with this girl, so a lot of partying, a lot of stupid things that I shouldn't be doing. And on this year, I actually met my current girlfriend, who's the one behind the camera. This is another year of a lot of learning. Pretty much at the end of the year, my dropshipping store, the one that I launched in 2020, it started to decline. Performance started to decline massively. I didn't pay attention to the store, so of course, that was going to happen at some point. I mean, dropshipping, it's not a money-making machine. It's not like, okay, you have a successful store and it's going to make money for you all time. No, it's not like that. But I didn't know that. I mean, I got into a comfort zone. I was tired of feeling so pressured every time. I was happy making good money every month. So I left that store completely forgotten. I focused on my new relationship with this girl. Every month now was losing and losing and losing. So at the beginning of 2022, February, March, I took the decision, and the big decision, of closing that store, a dropshipping store that generated approximately $400,000 in revenue. All right, guys, what I just found right here, it's honestly amazing. I'm currently recording this the other day. That's why I'm in different clothes. But listen, I was trying to look for the analytics of that dropshipping store that I'm currently talking to you about, the first successful dropshipping store that I had in 2020 all the way till 2022. I was very, very afraid that I couldn't open the Shopify store again, but I managed to do it, and it's right here. So let me show you. All right, you guys, of course, there's no sales because I'm not running this store anymore. But if we click right here, and if we select 2020, I started that in March, I think, so that's 03. Let's say this the 1st of March. I don't remember exactly. I think it was the 11th. And let's go all the way till 2022, and I think I closed that store at the beginning of July. So let's say 07 and 01. All right, let's go apply. Boom, there you go, guys. Over $440,000 generated with this dropshipping store in the course of 2 years. This was the first successful dropshipping store that I had in my life. This was the dropshipping store that changed completely my life and the reason to why you're seeing this video. So this is really important. I wanted to show you this because I know there's too many people out there just showing fake results and talking about fake stories of life. And no, I mean, in my case, that's not a case. It's 100% real, everything I'm trying to explain to you in this video. This is just crazy. It reminds me so many things, as you can see right here. This was 2020, honestly not the best year, but then 2021 was crazy. If we go back, for example, to, let's say July, how it was. Look, July was $47,000, almost $48,000 in revenue, 2.26 in conversion rate with 1136 orders, 1,058 orders, sorry. Crazy. Then we go to August. Now, take into account that this was my very successful store, so For me, this was crazy back then. For $6,000, again, 2.38 conversion rate, 1,052 orders, very profitable. All right, September wasn't the best month, but still it was profitable for orders. And yeah, I mean, it's just so crazy to be able to find this and be able to show this to you, because not only this is reminding me about how amazing those 2 years of having that first successful store were for me, and all the things I managed to do, how I managed to grow as a dropshipper, as an entrepreneur, how I managed to achieve a bunch of cool things. But of course, it validates the whole story that I'm currently showing you right now, which is the whole point, and it's motivating you guys. It's trying to just to give you some motivation that it's actually possible, okay? Yeah, just extremely happy to be able to show you this. So if I can give you right now a learning is, if you're ever successful with something in life, if it is dropshipping or any other business, you need to keep yourself conscious about the fact that you need to keep learning. Don't feel like you have the world in your hands, because that's when things start to go the wrong way. And don't think that you know everything, guys, okay? Don't think that you know everything, because that's the worst mistake you can make, and trust me, that's only gonna take you into a bad route. In June of 2022, I was like, okay, I want to work again, I want to do something new. So that's when I started building my personal brand as Ecom Santiago, because I felt like, okay, I have all this experience with dropshipping, all this knowledge with dropshipping. Let's try to make something good with all this knowledge that I have. So I mean, fuck it, let's just start creating content and showing people what I know, trying to teach people how to make money with dropshipping, trying to share my experience, trying to share my knowledge about running a dropshipping store. I started posting content on TikTok. I started developing different businesses. For example, I founded the Dropshipping Academy, which is currently a mentorship system, really cheap actually, through which we teach people how to be successful with dropshipping in the fastest period of time. It's basically a subscription that you only pay $30 a month, and we teach you everything from 0 to 100. You have access to mentors, you have access to courses, you have access to community. And at the end of the day, the goal with the subscription and with the Dropshipping Academy is to teach people the most affordable way how to be successful with dropshipping, right? And that's what I started to put my energy into. And actually, by the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023, I decided to make dropshipping again in a different mindset. Started to launch more and more dropshipping stores, but this time with a proper system, with a team behind, pretty much doing the things that I didn't do with that other dropshipping store, not making the same mistakes that I did with that other dropshipping store. We got into 2023. 2023 started with something amazing, and it's that by mid-February, I decided to move out of my grandparents' house. I managed to achieve one of my biggest dreams, which was living out my parents' house and living by myself, getting my own apartment, which is pretty much where I'm here right now. And for me, it was one of my big dreams made true, living by myself. This is my office. Like, look, for example, remember my room at my grandparents' house? This is my setup right now. But this is just work, guys. I mean, everything comes by default if you work, and if you keep working, if you keep growing, if you keep yourself committed with your own goals every day, you're gonna start to get these things. It comes by default. There's no secret formula. The only formula is literally working every single day and believing in yourself. That's the best advice I can give you. Then 2024 started even better than 2023. Went to Europe with my girl, then got my dream car pretty much, and a lot of things that we've been doing so far. But yeah, you guys, that's the whole story of how my life changed, how I started doing dropshipping. At the end of the day, what really matters is how I started, and I wanted you to focus on those things, because that's what really matters, because probably many of you guys are currently in that situation. And I just want to motivate you to know that if you work hard, if you believe in yourself, and if you keep yourself consistent and committed to your goals, I can guarantee you that there's no way to fail, okay? There's no possible way to fail. You are going to achieve your dreams, okay? So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Peace. On the other hand, I don't want you to think that I'm not doing dropshipping anymore. So right now I'm going to show you, for example, different stores that I'm currently managing. This is one of the new stores that I launched for Q4. Yesterday we did
9 sales, and look at the conversion rate. I mean, this is how good I've become with dropshipping. Past 30 days, it's been above $11,000, 132 orders with 4.4 in conversion rate. I mean, at the end of the day, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you're gonna get better. That's pretty much how life works, guys. And everything is real, you know, everything is real. These are real orders, real orders, real people. No fake results like any other people out there talking about dropshipping. I can show you another store. Look, this is the last 30 days for a different store. Above almost $12,000, 136 orders, 4.56 in conversion rate. Once again, these are real orders. You can see everything right here. Yeah, it's crazy, guys. It's crazy because my first successful store, I had it more than 2 years ago. And thanks to the momentum and the knowledge and experience that I got with that dropshipping store, I mean, I was able not only to make a good amount of money, but improve my skills as a dropshipper, as an advertiser. I was able to get a team that pretty much helps me to manage multiple stores at the same time. So yeah, at the end of the day is finding what works and keep improving yourself every day.